And now it's time for Windy City Sports Talk. And your host, Ryan Young.
Hello, Chicago! Welcome to this live what day is it? Thursday edition of Windy City Sports Talk. I am Ryan Young. For the next half hour, we're going to recap and preview everything going on in the world of sports. The playoffs are hot and heavy. We finally have an opponent for the Cubs tomorrow night from the friendly confines. A lot of exciting stuff to talk about. So we got one recap and a preview to do. Well, really nothing to still do. We really don't talk Chicago sports again until tomorrow's show. So that shall be exciting as the playoffs. The division series kicks off in about a half hour from now. The American League tonight, and then all four games and all four series play tomorrow. So that shall be exciting. So hope everyone's having a great Thursday. That much closer to the work week being complete. I'm looking forward to the weekend. Of course, Saturday going to the National League Division Series Game 2 on the rooftop. Now know who the team's going to be. We're going to break down that in a second. So I'm looking forward to being down in the Windy City. Not looking forward to being with... I'm not a big fan of being around a lot of people. And for you people that know me, like, well, he's been to 2 WrestleManias, the largest WrestleMania with 100,000 people. Yeah, I can deal with it in small doses. So it was more compact and more fitting in that stadium in Arlington, Cowboy Stadium. Not so much fitting when you're right in the middle of a neighborhood right in Wrigleyville. It's not the ideal place for 40,000 Cub fans to be swarmed around. But, you never know what you're going to get. But overall, let's talk about this. Because, of course, we'll have a Windy City Sports Minute coming up. Some previewing. But let's recap last night. The winner of that game between the Mets and the Giants. Get a first-class ticket to Wrigley Field to do battle with the Cubs. Let's start this off. Again, it was Madison Bumgarner going up against Noah Syndergaard in an absolute deal. And I believe it was Familia that came in, did their closer in the 9th inning. And remember, he was so good through the playoffs last year, and then get 3 blown saves that led to the Royals winning the World Series last season. Well, then you have this year, and all of a sudden, a guy by the name of Connor Gillespie. Some of you Sox fans might know him. He was a White Sox last season. So he did have some White Sox ties. And he had a 3-run homer in the top of the 9th inning. Madison Bumgarner comes in, shuts the door. And the San Francisco Giants are advancing and facing the Cubs tomorrow night at the Wrigley Field. And I'm looking forward to this series. I think this is going to be a series a lot of people are going to enjoy. I've been talking to people. I was talking to people at work today. And I was trying to say, I'm like, try to talk me off the ledge because I'm going to need that Monday too, no matter what. And I've really come to the conclusion that looking at this series, and already Game 1 has been announced, it'll be Johnny Cueto against John Lester. Then you got Kyle Hendricks in Game 2 to be opposed by either Matt Moore or Jeff Samardzija. So I think that's going to be fun. But what I'm really thinking about, and the way Madison Bumgarner pitched last night, and again, I'm once again right when it comes to my playoffs, so I'm 2 for 2. The wild cards I got right. And my pick now in that series is that the Giants are going to beat the Cubs. I think the Giants, out of any team in the playoffs, are the best team to hold it that can at least have a chance to beat the Cubs. So my thought here is that the Cubs absolutely, positively need to win both games at home to win this series. You go 1-1, you split, you still got to face Bumgarner, and it's against Arrieta. But these two met early in the season, and Arrieta, I just don't have that faith in him right now. That his first playoff start this year going to be against a Madison Bumgarner in a Rocket. And San Francisco's been here before. Again, they've won 3 out of the 5 last World Series. They're looking to do it again. This even thing needs to stop. And if the Cubs want any say-so, if the Cubs want to end their drought, they got to be the team to put a stop to this. But if the Cubs split, or if they lose both games, Monday's show might not even happen because I'm going to be already in that depression. Do I see him losing both? No. But even 1-1, you have to face Bumgarner, and what he's been able to do in October has been absolutely tremendous. So then you have to worry about that. And then, say you're 1-1, you lose out when you're down 2-1. You got to win the last one at home, which will probably be a Matt, unless either Samardzija or Moore, whoever doesn't pitch game 2. And then you got to go up, and then you got to have John Lackey as pitch clinchers. That would have to send it to a game 5 on Thursday, which, let's see, Bumgarner would have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, have 3 days off, where Lester could get an opportunity, and he would have 6 days off. But again, Bumgarner did this in there. I believe it was their last World Series run where he really took the ball and literally ran with it. He did a tremendous job where it was just hard to stop him at all. So I think that's possibly the Bumgarner thing, and there's a chance. Chris Rose put on Twitter yesterday, if the pitch count was low, he could have pitched game 1. But he's going to pitch game 3. I don't think he's going to be... See, are they going to pitch him on 3 days rest? Or do they go with Johnny Cueto for a possible game 5 matchup, which would be the rematch of game 1? So a lot of things go in here, but the Cubs obviously at least need to win 1 at home. But I think to go into San Francisco and being able to guarantee at least coming back to Chicago, you got to win both. You're not going to have to fit. You're going to be at your home ballpark. You're going to be not have to face Madison Bumgarner. There's no reason this team should not win both games. Now I am, like I said, my prediction is the Giants win this series because that's my gut instinct. But I'm rooting for my team, and I want my team to win. Like I said, and every Cub fan out here can relate with this. You want to see this end. There's a lot of sports people. There's a lot of Milwaukee people. Oh, I'm Giant fans. Oh, you know what? Be Giant fans. Because what I don't get is you guys sit there and hate on Bears fans for rooting against the Packers. But you guys do the same thing when your Brewers don't make the playoffs and you do it to the Cubs. But that's okay. But I'd say I'm a realist. And like I said, I'm not going in here confident. This is the series, because again, the Cubs haven't played since Sunday. Talk me off the ledge, damn it. And I'm probably going to need more of that on Monday's show. Because who the heck knows? So, that's where I'm at right now. Is I think the Cubs need to win both games at Wrigley to win the series. Now, like I said, and there should be no reason that there's not a chance for that to happen. Again, it's going to be cold. Wind's going to be blowing in. You're going to be in 2 pitchers' ballparks no matter what. The only thing that's going to suck is the travel because you got game, and if it goes 5, then you get the travel day Sunday and you get the travel day Wednesday. And I've taken that almost that exact flight. When I went to my first WrestleMania, I had to go to San Jose, so about a 3.5, almost 4-hour flight. And it's not fun. I don't like staying in a plane that long. So, I mean, for players to do it, they're used to it, so this is going to be nothing. But then they have to go back and forth, that's something. I mean, the 2 playoff series last year, Pittsburgh, close, St. Louis, close, New York, close. And then they didn't even have to go on the West Coast. So, I think when you look at it there, I think you got to think that, and again, even last night's game, it's just, Noah Syndergaard pitched very well, and I thought Noah Syndergaard had this in the bag, but the Mets offense just did not show up. And again, last year they had the opportunity to really, and last year the bats just went on. I mean, it was Daniel Murphy, and now Daniel Murphy's on the Washington Nationals. Get a first look at him tomorrow night when they start their series with the Dodgers. But I still think I still think this is a series that I think the Mets know that. I mean, you couldn't have Noah Syndergaard go to the 9th. You'd figure your closer would be able to shut the door. They did what Buck Showalter failed to do with the Baltimore Orioles the night before, and that is bring their closer in that situation. But I side with Buck Showalter there, and I think I still side. I don't know. Syndergaard was looking good. I mean, his stuff was going very well, and I think he still had that good command. So why not leave him in the 9th? You get a guy on, or so on and so forth. So. And it was just a big 3-run homer by Connor Gillespie, and that air just went out of that Citi Field. But you can expect it. I mean, you know right there your playoff hopes are done. And I mean, I think the same thing last year. Now they know how it felt when Daniel Murphy hit that home run in Game 4, when the Cubs knew, okay, this series is over. Let's focus on next year. So, again, this year the cards kind of almost lined it up for the Cubs. They didn't have to face the Cardinals, which I thought if they faced the Cardinals, right now I'm feeling like the Cardinals would have been a better fix. If it was Cardinals-Mets, it was really a win-win for the Cubs. But now I'm going to face the Giants, and now with Strasburg out, this is the year. If they can get by the Giants, I think this is their year. But I think this is going to be a tough series. It's not going to be easy, and I think a lot's going to be told. I think in the 2 games at Wrigley, because I said the Cubs need to win both. I don't want them to go into San Francisco with the chance to not come back to Chicago. Now, last year they were the disadvantage because they started on the road, 2 in St. Louis. They lost the first one, so don't jump off. I mean, you can because it's not the same, but having to face Samardzija did not pitch well at Wrigley. The lefty Moore could have an advantage, so there's some interesting things to look into. But I think games 1 and 2, I think it's going to be a tale. I think it's going to be a test. But hopefully Lester continues to pitch the way he has. I mean, the only other thing is that this lineup for the Giants isn't all it's cracked up to be. Connor Gillespie had a 3-run homer last night. That tells you something. I mean, that tells you their lineup isn't powerful. Buster Posey wasn't the guy. So as long as they're, and Joe Mann said in an interview today, bad things are going to happen. But it's how you handle those bad things. If you fold, you collapse, you struggle, then it could be the end of the world for you. So if the Cubs can handle them situations and answer back, Jason Hayward said, the way that team played in that last game against the Reds is exactly the way you want to see that team play. You don't give up the fight, and I think that's what you're going to get from this Cub team starting tomorrow night. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be an exciting, fun series. I think my gut's going to say we're going to have a Game 5 in Chicago next Thursday. A week from today. But, I mean, I think it all tells, I mean, it'd be fun to see him clinch in San Francisco, but they haven't been able to beat Bumgarner. Bumgarner's a different beast in October. And I think he's just hard to hit him. So, I mean, if you're going to get Arrieta to really pitch very, very well in that game, they have a chance. And if the Cubs can tack him for 1 or 2, because that game might turn out to be like the game you saw last night between Noah Syndergaard and Madison Bumgarner. So that's that. Again, the Giants win. The Cubs, after clinching through almost 3 weeks ago, finally have their opponent. Tomorrow night, Giants, Johnny Cueto. Cubs, John Lester. We got 2 ALDS games to preview. Got the Blue Jays Rangers, the series I'm most looking forward to that's not related to my team. And then you got Red Sox Indians tonight, which my World Series prediction for the AL is in that game. That is all coming up next, but first, the Windy City Sports Minute. This is your Windy City Sports Minute for Thursday, October the 6th. I'll eventually get that right. The Cubs finally have an opponent, and it is the San Francisco Giants on a 3-run Connor Gillespie home run in the top of the 9th inning. Madison Bumgarner with a complete game shutout. Of course, the Giants now advance as they beat the Mets. They will face the Cubs tomorrow at Wrigley Field. We'll preview that tomorrow. American League Playoffs Division Series begin today. Blue Jays Rangers at 3:30 on TBS. Marco Estrada against Cole Hamels. Then after that, it'll be the Boston Red Sox being hosted by the Cleveland Indians at 7 p.m. on TBS. Rick Porcello going up against Trevor Bauer. And, of course, all 4 series in the National League Division Series begins tomorrow as well. That is your Windy City Sports Minute. Now back to Windy City Sports Talk. Welcome back here to Windy City Sports Talk. Almost halfway through this day as we get you ready to go for the weekend. Not sure if tomorrow's show is going to be live or not. Part of me wants to do a live show, maybe push it back to 7:30 right before the Cubs start. I really have not decided yet because I do work tomorrow, and then Papa Sean, the big galoot, is here, but I don't think he wants to do it with me. So I might do a pre-show at 7:30, but we'll see what happens as I'm looking forward to it. The Cubs are the last team to play in the playoffs to be able to get a chance to see, so it should be exciting. Okay, so let's start off by previewing the games that are tonight. It's the 2 American League games between the Blue Jays and Rangers. That game will be starting right as we are ending 3:30 p.m. Central on TBS. Already got it tuned in. They got the pregame show going right now. I think in this game, and let's see if I can get you the lineups real quick here. In this game, again, this is a fun rivalry, and I think it'll be more fun when this series gets to Toronto. But I still think this is going to be a series that's going to be very exciting. Marco Estrada 9-9 in the regular season against Cole Hamels 15-5 with a 3.32. This guy is very, very good. This guy has played extremely well. This Rangers team, which of course they added Carlos Beltran, which until I just saw a video package they were doing, I forgot he was even on the team. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into this, and I think, of course, everything that goes into last year. Of course, for you folks that don't remember, they played in the division series last year. A big game, or pretty much a series-winning home run by Jose Bautista. He tossed the bat. Then it went into this year where Jose Bautista slid into Rougned Odor, the second baseman for the Texas Rangers, and in the same stadium that they're playing in for this series, they punched him right in the mush. So I think this is, and I said this is the series I wanted. I want to get an opportunity to see these two teams battle it out, and I think it's going to be a fun, exciting series. The fans are going to be into it. I just got a chance actually to go to Arlington. I went for a spring, I guess it was considered a spring training game against the Indians, which could have end up being the American League Championship Series if possible. But I got a chance to go there earlier this year, so very fun. And but here I got the lineups here for this game, Toronto and Texas. This is your lineup for the for the Toronto Blue Jays. Leading off and playing second base is Devin Travis. Batting second, third baseman Josh Donaldson. Batting third, first baseman Edwin Encarnacion. Batting fourth, designated hitter Jose Bautista. Batting fifth, catcher Russell Marte. Batting sixth, shortstop Troy Tulowitzki. Batting seventh, center fielder Kevin Pillar. Batting eighth, left fielder Melvin Upton Jr. And batting ninth, right fielder Ezekiel Carrera, with their pitcher being Marco Estrada. Your lineup for the Texas Rangers tonight, it'll be leading off and playing left field Carlos Gomez. Batting second and playing center field Ian Desmond. Batting third and and being the designated hitter today, Carlos Beltran. Then you have batting fourth and playing third base Adrian Beltre. Batting fifth, second baseman Rougned Odor. Batting sixth, catcher, former Brewer, Jonathan Lucroy. Batting seventh, first baseman Mitch Moreland. Batting eighth, shortstop Elvis Andrews. And batting ninth, right fielder Shin-Soo Choo. I think from 1 through 9 lineup-wise, you got to give it, I think, to Texas. So it's going to be what pitcher. And, of course, the Blue Jays had to use their starter, Marcus Stroman. So I think they might be behind the 8 ball here. So in Game 1, and I think obviously in this series, I picked Texas to win this series. I think they're going to have the advantage. I think they're going to win this afternoon. I think it's a game that Toronto's more out for blood. I think they're not really focused on the series. I think they're focused on possibly getting revenge because it's now their turn to get revenge. And I'm not sure if the benches are going to get warned before the game. Haven't heard any of that yet. I definitely want to see Jose Bautista's first at bat because he's not going to get appreciated. He's not going to get any love in that ballpark. So definitely will be interesting there. But I think lineup-wise, I would go Texas over Toronto. Now some of the numbers, some of the best hitting. Again, oddly enough, Darwin Barney, the former Cub, is on that Toronto Blue Jays roster. He's had 3 at-bats against Hamels, nothing. Let's see here. The best batting averages that come out, only in 3 at-bats, 667, Jose Bautista, Edwin Encarnacion. I mean, they're pretty good also. I mean, if you look at the middle of that order. So I think whatever lineup can do the more damage, obviously, I think is going to win. And it's going to be up to these pitchers to stop these hitters. So 667 and 3 at-bats is the most. Troy Tulowitzki's seen Cole Hamels 14 times, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. And, of course, that was when Troy Tulowitzki was in Denver with the Colorado Rockies, and you had Cole Hamels with the Philadelphia Phillies. Career against Marco Estrada, the former Milwaukee Brewer, 30 at-bats for Carlos Beltran, 267, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs. 333 and 6 at-bats for Nomar Mazara. 375 and 8 at-bats for Mitch Moreland, a home run, 2 RBIs. So not a lot of familiarity with, easy for me to say, between these two teams, or between the pitchers. But I still think it should be a fun matchup. And again, that game will be beginning right when our game ends. So, or right when our show ends. So looking forward to that and hope everyone gets a chance to enjoy. Which I think is going to be probably the funnest. I think the Cubs series is going to be fun with the Giants. And I think in the American League, you're definitely going to see Rangers Blue Jays be fun also. So looking forward to that. And, of course, that game will be on at 3:30 on TBS. And then you got the second game coming on tonight between the Red Sox and the Indians at 7 p.m. on TBS. You got Rick Porcello at 22-4. He pitched a tremendous season. at a 315 against Trevor Bauer at 12-8 with a 426. One thing I was talking about this series with someone at work today was that I wonder why they didn't have... Well, David Price pitched the last game of the season. Well, you knew you were in the playoffs, but why'd you do it? But they wanted home field advantage, which they didn't get. I believe they lost their last game, and Toronto was able to get in. So that led to Toronto being able to get the wild card. So that's how that works. Or David Price would be pitching tonight. Now they have him ready to go in the game tomorrow. So that's going to make it exciting. Again, their games 2 will be tomorrow. And then that'll be games 1 of the DS for the National League. And then only the National League, like the American League's only today. It'll only be the National League games on Saturday. And then Saturday it's only the American League games. Or Sunday, and then Mondays both. So that exciting stuff. So you're going to be you get the nonstop stuff. And I think it'll be maybe Wednesday or Thursday. I'm sure there'll be a day or two without any baseball. But of course next week, we'll still obviously be covering playoffs all the way through the World Series, whether the Cubs make it or not. But it's still exciting to be able to get a chance to be a part of this. Get excited, but also hockey's going to be starting, so that's always fun. The lineups are out for the game tonight. Again, the Indians, the Cleveland Cavaliers just won a championship. Now the Cleveland Indians are trying to win. Here's your lineups tonight. First for Boston. Leading off and playing second base, Dustin Pedroia. Batting second and playing third base, Brock Holt. Batting third and playing right field, Mookie Betts. Batting fourth, designated hitter, David Ortiz. Batting fifth, first baseman, Hanley Ramirez. Batting sixth, shortstop, Xander Bogaerts. Batting seventh, center fielder, Jackie Bradley Jr. Batting eighth, catcher, Sandy Leone. And batting ninth, left fielder, Andrew Benintendi. And then, see, that lineup doesn't really scare you off the bat. And also, the Indians are not going with their ace. They're matching Corey Kluber up with David Price tomorrow. So I think Game 2 is going to be a better pitching matchup. Here's your lineup for the... Again, this is David Ortiz's final run. Whenever it does end, whether it goes through the World Series, that'll be it for Big Papi. Now here's the lineup for the Cleveland Indians. Leading off and playing first base, Carlos Santana, which I don't really consider him a leadoff man. Batting second baseman Jason Kipnis. Batting third, shortstop Francisco Lindor. Batting fourth, designated hitter Mike Napoli. Batting fifth, third baseman Jose Ramirez. Batting sixth, right fielder Lonnie Chisenhall. Batting seventh, left fielder Coco Crisp. Batting eighth, center fielder Tyler Naquin. And batting ninth, catcher Roberto Perez. And then, of course, Trevor Bauer is their pitcher. Matchup-wise, let's see here. Against Rick Porcello, there's been some numbers. Out of 31 at-bats, a home run, 8 RBIs, Jason Kipnis against Rick Porcello. 14 at-bats, a 357 for Mike Napoli against Porcello. 38 at-bats for Carlos Santana. He's batting .263, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs. So that's pretty good. Not as much against Trevor Bauer. 5 at-bats, batting .600 is Mookie Betts, a home run and 4 RBIs. Xander Bogaerts, bat .167, 6 at-bats. Jackie Bradley Jr. has the best batting average, but he has batting 1,000 and 1 at-bat. David Ortiz in 5 at-bats and 3 RBIs. Batting 800. So I think if you get one of them, Mookie Betts is up there as well. I think this could spell trouble for Bauer. So I think game one probably goes to Boston. Like I said, they're my World Series pick. So I think that'll be exciting and fun. So we'll see where that goes. But right now, so I think when you look at that, I think Boston obviously is the team that I think in the American League has so much more. I mean, they're going to be feeding off of Big Papi. Obviously, like I said, he's retiring at the year's end. For you folks that don't know him and aren't familiar that much with baseball, Big Papi was really one of the lead guys on this team in 2004 when the Boston Red Sox had the same kind of quote-unquote curse that the Cubs did. Oddly enough, the Cubs president of baseball operations, Theo Epstein, was there. He was the one that kind of orchestrated that whole thing together, and Big Papi was in Minnesota before that. No one even knew who David Ortiz was in Minnesota. And then he comes over to Boston. He did a tremendous job. Again, they were down 3-0 to the Red Sox, or the Yankees. And I mean, if you watch the movie Fever Pitch with can't think of his name now, Drew Barrymore and Jimmy Fallon, they pretty much they made that movie around that series, and then thinking they were going to lose was a part of the script, but they ended up coming back from 3-0, winning all four, and then they win this series, and then eventually they win the World Series. So that's pretty fun, and that's a great series. And then, of course, they've won 2 titles since then, I believe, or they've won about 3. So I think anyone that doesn't have a dog in the fight for the playoffs either has that pull for the Red Sox as a big poppy, or for the Cubs because they want to see that curse finally end. And of course, then they got to run into the buzzsaw of the San Francisco Giants, which is going to be tough. This is not going to be an easy series. And I'm still debating as we speak. Part of me wants to do a 7 o'clock show, up to 7, because I get 45 minutes to do it. But part of me doesn't want to do a show then, so I don't know. So let's just plan right now for a 3 o'clock show. It'll be right at the end of the Rangers-Indians game 2. Or excuse me, Rangers, or see what series starts at noon tomorrow. Tomorrow, Texas-Toronto is 2, so they'll have almost 2 games played. Darvish against Jay Happ. And, of course, so they'll have almost 2 games in the books by the next time we're back on the air. And like we said, they start game 1 in just a couple of minutes. And I think that's also an advantage for Texas, because now that they have a healthy Darvish, because I think a couple of them playoff runs, Darvish wasn't even on the team yet, or he was hurt. So I think that could play into factor what's going to happen. So it should be interesting to see again, the playoffs. You never know. October's a different beast. Cubs got their first taste last year, and now they're going to get thrown right into the fire this year, being the best team, not being the team that just sneaks in. They were the team from beginning of the season to the end. Even though the Giants had the best record at the end of the regular season, now they have at the end of the first half, and the Cubs having the best record to end the regular season. These are probably the 2 best teams. And now that the Giants are back to being focused, that's what's going to make things entertaining. And again, we'll preview games 1 and 2 tomorrow. We'll recap Blue Jays-Rangers game 1 and 2. Recap Red Sox-Indians game 1. And preview game 2. And finally get into the Dodger-National series, which 2 of them games will be coming to an end. So a lot of previewing and recapping on tomorrow's show as we get you ready for Cubs and the Giants. And of course, if you have another dog in the fight, we're previewing everything. Of course, that's what we do. I mean, baseball's a fun thing, and this is the funnest time of year to really. That's why I always decided to do my podcast starting in September, because you're in the last week of the baseball season, then you're rolling in with football, and you're rolling in with hockey and basketball, so you really get all 4 sports fairly quickly. And of course, we're already a month through, and I appreciate everyone that's listened to the show. I've loved doing it, and not getting as many listens, but of course, as always, just enjoying what I'm doing. I love talking sports. That's what I love to do, and be able to give us people an option to be able to listen to me. I appreciate it very much, and hope all you guys get an opportunity to. So tomorrow we're going to recap Blue Jays-Rangers games 1 and 2, and Red Sox-Indians game 1. We're going to preview Red Sox-Indians game 2, preview the weekend between the Dodgers and the Nationals, preview Cubs-Giants, preview game 3, Blue Jays-Rangers, and Red Sox-Indians. So all that fun stuff coming up on tomorrow's show as we get you set for the weekend. So it's going to be a lot to talk about playoffs tomorrow, and also Monday to recap everything as well. And getting ready for some more National League stuff. So a lot of exciting baseball. Everyone enjoy it tonight, the American League. And then, like we said, the National League begins tomorrow. I believe the Bulls and Pacers play tonight. We're getting closer to hockey, I believe, less than a week from yesterday. That season starts for real, so we'll try to break that down once it comes. But until then, we're mainly just covering MLB baseball playoffs, especially with the Cubs. That'll wrap it up, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. It'll be a 3 o'clock show. Not sure if it'll be live or taped. But everyone, please enjoy. Have a great day. And everyone, I love you. Have a great day, Chicago.